Hi, I'm Peachy.
Hello, I am a football commentator.
Oh, you are, aren't you?
Yeah.
Oh, you're getting a sheepskin jacket for the next one.
Oh, I could do, couldn't
That'd
I?
be good,
Yeah,
wouldn't it? Oh.
yeah.
Like just reading the scores out.
Yes. It was like, Burnley, 5. West Brom, 2.
Beautiful, you got it, you nailed it.
Yeah.
You could do it as imaginary football scores of all the different planets in the Imperium.
Oh, yeah.
That would be good,
yeah,
wouldn't it?
yeah.
It would. Who are you, by the way?
What?
Who are you?
Am I? Oh, yeah, who am I? I don't know. As you may well or may not happen on the show, you'll find out I've got my dog with me today, so I'm all a bit discombobulated.
Discombobulated, that's a good
Jeff,
word.
You are Jeff.
Jeff.
The man who's got a matching beard with his dog.
You do look like your dog.
I do look like my dog.
It's
yeah.
very
It's
similar.
the glasses.
I think it's the glasses.
You wouldn't have thought they'd have put glasses on dogs for short sight, but did they?
And the accent as well. I think
Yeah,
it's the
Yeah.
Liverpoolian
She
bar.
barks, she barks in Scouse.
Yeah.
You know, when other dogs woof, she just goes, hey, 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 hey.
That's good. I'm going to put that in the bank for
yeah. Or like, I mean, Jeff can get away with it.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I mean, I can't,
I don't want you to start,
Yeah.
don't be heading yourself down a racist path there.
Yeah. I was described yesterday by my wife's friend's child as a coconut.
Which is weirdly insulting, but not a million of miles away from the truth at the same time, isn't it? It's really bizarre.
I could take that.
Yeah, just go, do you know what? To be honest, I've been called worse.
Yeah,
Much
absolutely.
worse, to
Yeah.
be fair.
Oh,
Hello,
dear
coconut
me.
man. Thanks.
Oh, is that what it was? Hello, coconut man.
Man.
Oh,
All right.
Kids are brutal. They have no filter.
I love the honesty of children because you know where you stand with them.
Yeah,
the best thing.
I mean, I feel like as I sort of exited my 20s into my 30s, I was like, all these hang-ups, just don't care anymore.
Yeah.
And that gives you like more confidence. And then I'm going to have children and they'll just like knock me
crush
back
it.
down again.
Yeah,
mate,
yeah.
I was joking with my youngest child, and I said to him, who's funnier, me or mummy? He went, you're funnier. And I went, thank you very much. He went, but I like mummy more. I thought you could have gone, mum's funnier and I like her more, so I suppose you have to take some little minor victories out of statements like that, don't you, really?
Yeah, it's the little victories.
Yeah. I've got some stories. I don't think I'll tell them yet.
No, that's fine. Well, if you allow me, I have a little bit of not housekeeping, but I thought that we as we've become aware, when you have a podcast, a show, a YouTube channel, Instagram, or what have you, people send you stuff. And
which is great.
Yeah, I mean, it is really good. People message me and say, can I send you something? And I usually say yes. Things like the paints and basing materials and stuff. Like AK sent us some stuff, Army Painter sent us some stuff. Their brushes you use all the time.
I love their brushes.
I've got to be honest, they sent us them, whoever it was who sent us them Warhammer knickers. It's very kind of them, but I wish they'd asked for sizes first.
And they're also used, so...
Mine are chafing something
Yeah,
right on the back end.
That's because you got elf ones. I got Nurgle ones. Sorry,
No one. That's why they were used, because they were Nurgle. If they'd have been elf ones, they'd have been nice and clean.
Do you think, because there is some under, I think that, it's embarrassing, I know the name of them, I don't own any, but you can get underwear called, I think they're called shreddies, and they have this like filter in to like absorb your farts so they don't smell.
Oh, don't they let it go out, but don't they go through like a peppermint filter?
Something like that, yeah. And because I knew...
Take all the joy out of a fart.
It does. That's why you have kids, because you can blame it on them.
That's why Jeff got a dog.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Because his kids are growing up.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's some stuff that we can't use all the time. And I feel bad that I've accepted this stuff, but we haven't yet used it. So there's a few little bits and bobs that I think we'll get going at the start of this.
Yeah,
and we'll
go for it.
do some consumer reviews.
Consumer reviews. I like that.
Yeah. So one thing we got sent was Paint Blitzer by Unto the Breach Hobbies.
It's a good name, isn't it?
Yeah, I quite like that.
Yeah.
So I've got a marine in a little glass. I put him in upside down, and I'm going to drown him. And apparently, 30 minutes to 2 hours for a plastic miniature. And,
that's pretty good.
And you'll be farming. So,
well, as our show's roughly an hour, that's going to be...
Yeah, so we can. I thought, we can test this. Blah, 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 blah,
It's just
blah,
like
blah,
milk.
blah. Yeah.
Right, steady.
Milk.
I used quite a lot there.
Yeah, you might get more than one use out of it, though.
Yes, yeah. I mean, I do actually. I've got a second mini, so I'll chuck that in as well.
Yeah, go on.
Dip them both in.
So there's a couple.
You've got to give it to them two Marines, so they've been tortured and neither of them said a word.
At least they've got the helmets on. So
Yeah,
they're not
that's
gonna
true.
drown.
Yeah, they might be all right for a while.
Yeah,
to be fair.
and then another thing that we got sent. So yeah, those guys are it's swimming in that glass of milk, and at the end of the show,
I really want a yogurt now.
That's just, not that yogurt.
No, not that. Not marine yogurt.
warning contains benzyl alcohol, harmful if
Nice.
swallowed or inhaled.
Don't smell it then.
Yeah. And then another thing we got sent was you can find these guys on Instagram, and this is called the Drop Dripper.
The drop dripper.
Yeah.
Something close to Peachy's heart. He's all in for these, aren't you?
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
dropper
So,
bottles.
so this is something that's specifically designed for the aid in transferring Citadel paint into dropper bottles.
Yeah, yeah.
Because apparently, I've never tried it. It's a bit of a nightmare. I saw the is it Kiara, the female part of Broadsword Wargaming.
Yeah, Kira Elvenblood.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. And she was like, I hate putting Citadel paints into drop balls. It's a nightmare, and I've completely
Don't.
wasted loads of paint. Don't.
Don't like it. Don't
Yeah.
do it. No, it's
But then somebody sent us this, so it's like a little funnel and everything. And
Well, as tech
got-
goes, it's very clever. Oh, you can have a go at doing
I'm
something.
going to have a go. I'm going to have a go. So I peeled the label off and stuck it round the little dropper
Yeah.
bottle.
Nice.
It is. I'm going to have to put my mic down and let the adults talk. Whilst
Where
I-
are they? Are they out there?
I'll have a look.
Yeah.
Nope, nope, they're not there.
How old is Bella and Doggy is?
Yeah, it's getting. Well, she probably makes as much sense as me. So to be
Yeah.
fair.
So I've got a pot of Mechanical Standard Grey.
Nice.
It says give it a good shake and put some medium in it.
Okay.
In their video, they put some airbrush like thinner in, so
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
exactly what I did. I did stab myself in the thumb cutting through the like the plastic collar to take the lid off.
Oh, right.
I think you can probably do it without cutting it off, but
Some bottles just pop off. It's
I don't
really
want to
weird.
get. I don't want to get too. I
Yeah.
didn't want to get paint everywhere, but instead, I've got my own blood everywhere.
Nice.
Yeah, this is. I need to get a boom arm because this is a bit silly.
I know. Well,
We've got them on order.
a couple of people have mentioned it.
Everyone's like, get a power mic stand. I'm like,
Whoa.
No.
We did talk to a sound guy the other day, didn't we? He was a very nice
Yeah,
guy, very
yeah,
sound,
yeah.
and he gave you some advice, hasn't he?
Yeah, I mean, this is hopefully the beginning of like good audio for us.
Yeah.
Because I've got all three mics going into a recorder, and I'm monitoring it as we're recording, which is quite novel.
And then once you finish, you're off to do that session on an Ibiza, aren't you?
Yeah. I'm just going to think.
that. Boom.
No, I'm actually doubling as a Cyberman in Doctor Who.
Right, okay.
But yeah, funnel, paint goes in the top. I'm going to do that. Hopefully, it'll just drip through, and we'll have Citadel paint in a dropper bottle, trouble free by the end.
I
of
have
the
strong
session.
opinions about dropper bottles.
Okay, so whilst I do this, go.
So I've used them now. I've been using them for a little bit because you get AK of them.
Yeah, they do indeed.
Pro acryl, sort of like a dropper bottle. And I find I waste more on the dropper bottle than I do from when I used to use. I get if it's for like if you're pouring it into airbrushes, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But when and if you're not careful, they do clog up after a while, and then you have to put a bit more pressure, and then a bit more pressure, and then it just gushes out.
Oh, I've had because I am quite heavy-handed and I'm a reasonable strength in my hands. I have had, I do use some Vallejo.
Yeah.
Vallejo, however we're going to pronounce it.
I'm not even going to
Vallejo. But anyway, I've used some
Nice.
and
Look at that.
and brand new ones.
Yeah.
Lid off, give it a shake, and literally first go, and with enough force that the entire nozzle
Yeah.
straight off everywhere.
Yeah, I mean,
you know,
pluses
I
and
think
minuses.
but haven't watched when Pat had his airbrush lesson the other day. Well, between Christmas and New Year, the chap was on it with a dropper bottle, and it was that rare moment where I went, "Oh yeah," you know.
So
I can see that, you know.
I use some. Well, yeah, I've been doing a little bit of airbrushing, like priming and all that sort of stuff, because the weather's been terrible. And I was like, I'm going to try Turbo Dog paint now. And I was like, dropper bottles, fantastic for airbrushes, straight in the airbrush. And I was like, oh, it's not coming out. Squeezed it hard, and the top just went. into my airbrush cup, and then I was just sat there cleaning for like 15 minutes.
I mean, I'm glad the lid that you can like take the spout off, because I'm very I'm all about recycling when it comes to that. So when I've used like I spilt washes, I find a way of getting that wash soaked up and put it back into the pot.
Yeah.
So if I've put too much Citadel paint onto my palette, I'll just get a big brush, soak it up, and then just start pouring
Put it back in.
I use the brush and then just spatula it back in. So I can do that with the dropper bottles, but it's just harder. I can decide how much I want to put on my palette with opening the lid. Now the lids for Citadel paints can be a bit of a nightmare, because if you clink them too far back, it
goes past that plastic guard,
that
doesn't
little
it?
guard thing. Yeah, once you've gone past that, it won't close properly and it will leak out the back, which is weird. I don't know why we ever changed on those hexagonal parts. The hexagonal ones were amazing.
The screwy lid ones.
Well, there was screwy lid ones, but there was other flip lid ones that came later. So you had like the old ones where you destroyed your thumbs. The old Citadel ones, you destroyed your thumbs. You end up using your teeth to open them.
Yeah.
Then they made some hexagonal parts with screwy lids, but then they made like a flip lid.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it had like a coating on it that the paint would sort of dry up, but then just peel off really satisfying, like picking a scab.
Yeah.
But the whole thing came off. It wasn't like leaving bits here and there.
Okay.
And they were the best pots I've ever seen.
I didn't like the ones where they went, the ones that I think are the ones before now, you know, when they had the with the really small little white tops. You know, some of them had like white tops. Or in fact, they may even be though.
I've got some Retributor armor that is in the same pot but has a white lid on instead of like.
In fact, that's not even. It's the current lid. What am I talking about?
Yeah,
it's the current lid.
But some have white on and some don't.
Yeah.
I've never understood. At first, I thought it was metallics, but some metallics had it and not all. And I don't know if it's because it might be like I'm trying to think back now to which ones had it. If it was like the metal flake heavy ones, but then it's not, because I was like, oh no, because Iron Hand Steel is pretty good and that doesn't have it.
Yeah.
So it's
but I remember them ones you were talking about where it was the black top, but literally it was just the very top of it opened up.
It was really easy to open, really easy to close, peeled off when it clogged up.
Yeah.
I'd never had anything leak out because the inks used to be in there and the inks were runny as heck and they never leaked.
I generally, with the if I'm using Vallejo or AK, I always just have a half unfolded paper clip just for the little ramrod.
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah, because I know
I've got a honest for what looks like on paper. Sorry, talking over your path. What looks like on paper, an amazingly clever idea is the Pro Ecrol Monument ones. They're bloody awful.
Yeah,
on paper they look amazing. Oh, you twist it.
A twist drop a water, but then you close it and then it just goes like bleh.
And they end up with a bit on the top, and then and have you seen when one of them clogs and you have to pull that bit off and it's got that weird struts inside and you have to take all of that off and wash it.
So what I've taken to doing with Pro Acryl is dropping it, putting it upright, and not closing it and so it kind of drops back down and then you can close it. But I have forgotten to close it a couple of times and then I'm like, oh, I hope it hasn't dried, and I just shake it like a
Polaroid picture.
Like
that. So I mean, they're all right. I just prefer using. I like to decide how much paint I put on the palette, and the dropper bottles don't allow me to make that call as well as I'd like.
What you just need more practice with dropper bottles.
Yeah, maybe I just need to be better at like squeezing. Yeah, that's what I need to do. Just be better at squeezing bottles.
Better at squeezing that sort of.
Got to catch up and finally shake the last of them shackles of GW.
Oh, just because I left the company doesn't mean I hate the product.
No. And as well, I think what was it when Speed Paint came out in Army Painter, they're in dropper bottles.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, but with Speed Paint, you use it straight from the pot. So people actually prefer
a bigger open aperture for
the Citadel pots because that kind of makes
the company going to you're going to have to get the people are going to have to make that goes the other way for
can we have the drop dripper company, can we have the reverse
for army painter
drop dripper,
well, it's very nice.
I tell you, it's not even going to just be them. They might have to think about it because AK's Vallejo's new line of
they're Express.
They're in a dropper bottle.
Yeah. Oh yes, of course they are in dropper bottle. Yeah.
Well, it's very nice of them to supply us with that because it's worth trying things out.
Absolutely.
The problem is, I'm hardly fixated by it now.
Yeah. Well, regardless of my eyes,
just keeps being drawn.
There's a little trickle coming down the side that you might. I'm not going to pick it up because I'll drop it. So, I mean, this is thrilling viewing, not only for people watching this on YouTube that can't see it, but especially people listening to it in audio only.
It's slowly dropping down.
What we should have done was we just were only audio, and the whole show should have just been on the one camera on that.
Yeah, just one camera. Yeah.
Well, two, one on the Marines and one on.
Yeah.
We'd just be completely audio.
Yeah. No, it's good.
Right. So, what else have we been sent anything else, or is that it?
So currently that's it. I think we do have some more stuff on the way potentially. But I think we've used like a lot of the stuff in videos. And
I still keep meaning to, and if they are watching, Signum Games sent us a game with a load of resin figures in it, and I built and painted a couple of stuff they sent. There's some pin-up Valkyries riding bombs that I still need to paint up because they're mega. I just never got around to doing it.
Yeah.
But they sent like all sorts of random stuff, and at some point, I don't think we'll end up fully doing a game on it or a paint guide, but definitely put some stuff on the old socials. Just not got around to it, so I do apologise. It is ongoing. It's just work gets in the way sometimes.
Absolutely. Oh, there was one other thing that I said I would do as well. Faith and Damnation, the group,
our favourite Facebook group.
Yeah, they're a Facebook group. It's kind of like a Discord server, but on Facebook. And
it's nice because nobody's horrible to each other. I'm a big fan of it.
That makes sense.
Yeah, we like that. It's very good.
Yeah.
So we have a link in the description in all of our videos because Jeff was part of the group for a long time and won an army in a charity competition.
In case it's not been mentioned.
Yeah. Oh, now the buzzer's gone.
Oh.
Which Keris might be able to get.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. You can hear her do it.
Yeah.
Great. Cool. I was like, what are we going to do with the dog? And they have a bunch of sponsors, like Ashdown Gaming.
Oh, yeah. They're good guys.
Where you can buy lots of discount Warhammer. They sent us some brushes before as well.
Yeah, it was very nice of them.
Which was very nice. So definitely check those out. There's a link in the description.
Yeah, it's very kind of you. They are a nice bunch of people.
Yeah. I mean, I've joined the group, but I've not really done much with it because I hardly use Facebook because I'm old.
I mean, I hardly use Facebook anymore either.
Yeah. I use Messenger because it's a free way to chat to my family.
Yeah.
We have a Peach group where we chat, and I've not looked at that for a while, but it's usually like, Dad, are you in? Mum, you come around at the weekend.
Family group chats are the best, aren't they? Yeah.
They're always favorite, aren't they?
Yeah. Oh, hello, dog.
Little doggy.
Oh,
so you put really horrific things in, like really horrific gifts, just for your mum and dad, and they have no idea what's going on, and the rest of your family are like creasing themselves. With your mum and dad, like, what's this picture about? Never play Cards Against Humanity with your mum and dad.
I have.
What's Daki?
I did on my last big birthday. Oh, we had everybody. Like, there was people like bordering on like nearly 80.
Yeah.
And we played Cards Against Humanity.
Well, that's a terrible idea.
No, it's fantastic. It's fantastic.
The Disney edition. Which is just weirdly even more horrific.
Yeah.
When you go,
I can think
Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs went for a walk, and it's just
I mean, is it bad that my brain immediately went to, I can think of some things that Snow White would have been okay.
It's real. Honestly, I sat there and and do you know what? So we're like, to my father-in-law's girlfriend, we were like, just there's your one. And honestly, I was just thinking, everyone was laughing. And because I don't drink very much, I wasn't, so I was very much still, not sort of like thinking, this is hilarious. I was just thinking, kill me now. Do you know what I mean? Literally kill me now. I've never been so embarrassed for myself and for somebody else. And you know what? They just thought it was hilarious.
Yeah, that's good.
And I was thinking, and I think, you've got to sort of remember that old age pictures still have a sense of humour,
Yeah.
And they were telling dirty jokes long before we were born.
Yeah.
But you immediately just sort of put them on some sort of weird protective pedestal, don't you? And I was just like,
I've never seen my dad laugh so much when we have done it, but even now, my wife still gets mixed up with Daka and seppuku. I mean, technically, both are ritual suicide to a certain degree.
I've got it. Have you ever been to the pub in Nottingham City Centre called the Old Angel?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, a friend of mine who's also a barber, he was mates with either the current or the old manager of it, and they'd actually had an email sent to them.
I'm scared of where this is going.
Where a group had said, "Can we rent the upstairs of the?" And they said, don't worry, put lots of polythene sheeting down and we leave the place as clean and tidy as they got it. And they were still like, still no, but thank you. Thanks for getting in touch, but maybe not. Yeah.
Wow. I mean, I imagine like if they are like, because why would I can understand you not wanting it at your own house, because the neighbours would be like, oh. There's a lot of men going in there,
and only one woman,
and only yeah. And then I don't know. You'd walk into your living room and just have flashbacks or something. But
don't get a dark light out. That's what I'd say.
I just like the idea that potentially, because they would obviously film it. I like the idea.
Would they?
Yeah, of course they would be. They'd obviously film it. I like the idea of them all getting on with it.
I like you say obviously, like obviously, as if you're in the know.
I mean, we know Jeff knows a lot about streaking.
They would film it.
Okay.
But in my mind, I like the idea that they're all getting on with it, and in the background, there's just somebody with a crate of J2Os just going back downstairs, or like a big box of Walker's Crisp because the storeroom's up there, just in the background.
For a minute, I thought you meant like they
were going to break for a sandwich.
It was like because I grew up in the arse end of nowhere in Cumbria, and the cinema you would go to, proper old school, run by these really really old people, and the trailers.
Heresy night every Thursday.
This is not safe for work. I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna beep that word every single time. I'm gonna have to. Oh dear. And the trailers finish, and then they like an attendant stands there with like drinks and an ice cream and stuff like that. I thought you meant you were gonna go down that route. You'd be like, let's just have
maybe because they probably would get quite dehydrated, so maybe that'd be right. But I just in my mind, just like the younger bar staff in the background, just walking up and down, or like halfway through. And they're upstairs and they shout down and go, Steve, did you say Guinness? Okay, and they just come down.
So I think that's a nice segue into talking about LVO models.
I think it was seamless straight into LVO. So then, talking about LVO, we're out to pride ourselves on being the last people to talk about it, aren't we?
Yeah.
We're that late. The desert has reclaimed Las Vegas. It's gone now. We're that late to talk about it.
I forgot it was happening, to be fair. I used to go to it 3 years in the Trop before COVID. Enjoyed going, actually. Vegas is a weird city. It's fun at night, weird in the daytime. You see all like the truth behind, because like nighttime and bright lights hide a lot of weird stuff,
and a lot of weird people as well. As far as I've heard,
it's not the kind of place where you want to see a family being brought up and stuff. And the weirdest thing I found, and because the casinos and they make so much money, it was the first year, and I felt really bad because Liz was looking after Charlie. He was only about 4 or 5 months old at that point, and I was like, I'm actually getting a good night's sleep, but because I was so used to getting woken up at certain points, I woke up, and because there was jet lag there, it was like 4 a.m. in Vegas time, and I was like, I can't sleep now. I'll go downstairs and see if there's like anywhere to get a drink. Went looking for like a little coffee area or something to get a drink, and it's rammed at 4 a.m. with people just playing on the slots, and you could see like those folks that like the life savings just chucking it into the machines. It was insane. I was like, mental. This is 4 a.m. I mean, wow, that was quite an eye opener for me. But
I remember speaking to me and my wife have never really had much interest in going to Vegas. We had nearly had an opportunity. My cousin got married out there, but my wife had literally not long before given birth, or was due to have the baby, and it was too close for flying. I can't quite remember the timings of it, but I remember it was just wasn't doable. And we talked about whether we missed the opportunity to go to Vegas, and we were sad about it. And my wife was like, I've no real interest in going. And this next statement is quite funny when you consider our very liberal approach to how we see the world. And my wife was like, I'm really not that bothered that I didn't go. She said, but I would have liked to have gone over and gone on a range and just fired assault rifles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think with my wife, it's this thing between us both, really. We're both quite well travelled and both independently have done quite a lot of interesting stuff. And I think there is that thing of my wife goes, he's fired really impressive firearms, and I never have. So there's that thing of like wanting to just catch up with that a little bit, you know.
I guess any bucket list I want to do is it's literally World War II weapons, like a Sten gun, a Bren, a Tommy gun. That's as far as my remit would go.
I'll tell you a very quick story about the customer who went there on a stag do, and it was genius. His mates were absolutely on point when it come to being smart. They went and they're going having an Ocean's 11. First night, Ocean 11s. Everyone's in really cool, smart suits. Do you know what I mean? So it's going to be great. And when he got in the shower, they took his suit away and replaced it with another suit. And the suit was just like mid-1980s, and the shirt and tie didn't match. And the shoes and the trousers were like a bit too short, and the shoes were awful. So what they did was, they didn't go, if you looked at it, you weren't going stag do, blatantly the stag.
Yeah.
What it looked like was like 10 cool guys, and they'd had to bring their idiot cousin with them. Do you know what I mean? It was genius. And then the day after that, they went on the Rangers, and it was called, brilliant, because it was during like sort of what was going on in Iraq and Afghanistan and one thing or another, and it was the coalition package. So you got to fire everything that the US Army was currently using. That was like not like missile launchers, but and then they fired bullets. And he got a shower, and he came out. They were all going, because he'd like organised this to death: polo shirts, cream-coloured combat trousers, look like bit like like private security.
Oh right, okay.
And we got in the shower, and when he came back, his outfit had gone, and they'd left him fully tasselled, broad cowgirl outfit, in even down to hot pink short with his name in sequins on the arse of them, with like fringe gloves, fringed hat, fringed bra, and he had to go to the range like that. And the guys on the range loved him so much, they went, "Can you hold these two pistols like that?" And he took a photograph of him, and they said, "We're going to turn you into a target."
That's amazing.
I thought, you know what, stag do team on absolute point, that isn't it?
Yeah, that's really good. I mean, yeah.
I mean, there was the first year I went, there was a group of us, and we there was a guy called Dermot, who was my first editor, and he was a big fan of the TV show Twin Peaks, and there was a restaurant called Twin Peaks, and we're like, cool, let's go there, let's go have lunch. And we're like, yeah, I'm in for the blueberry pie, because it's a thing in Twin Peaks. He was like, I'm looking forward to see if it's blueberry pie. It was not anything to do with the show.
Well, it was just
it
the name.
Twin Peaks of
yeah. Imagine a Hooters.
Yeah,
it was like we all went in there expecting blueberry pie.
I can just imagine the lady from Total Recall with 3 boobs just walking in and being like, "Can I have it?" Oh,
yeah. But however, they had the best beer. So I went there every year after that because of the beer. It was like so cold but so refreshing. I've never had the nicest beer. And it's Bud, and people like Budweiser rubbish and weak, but it was just really refreshing and really nice. So I was like, yeah, I'll have at least one lunch at Twin Peaks, but. But yeah, models. We should probably talk about models.
All right. Well, we can go to Twin Peaks next year, because we'll obviously get invited to the LVO next year, I would have thought. When we're model superstars. Considering
everything that we just talked about, probably not. They were like, if you do a live show, you can't. I'll just have like a little, like
you have to have a live sensor machine.
A live sensor machine. And you just kick me in the leg
when I'm about to say something.
Like, Dakar! Oh dear. I've at the risk of bringing up what we previously just talked about, could I have a tissue, please?
Where are they?
I think they're just underneath your Peach's leather jacket there. My drip dripper.
Your drip dropper
wasn't quite drip dropping as fast as I wanted it to, and I
Jeff's
thought,
getting trousers.
I think there was like a little. I think there was like a little blockage somewhere, and I picked up the paint pot.
I'm resisting the urge to lick.
I'm sorry about the smell. If there's a nice fusty smell there, Jeff,
just
those trousers, Peachy.
Just have the whole lot. That's fine.
There we go.
I'll join the A52 on my bum in those trousers. Yeah,
there's a sentence I don't think I dared say today. Right then, so anyway, LVO, should we finally get talking about it?
So, yeah, I mean, we've just hit the 30-minute mark, because Peach's close-up camera turns itself off after 29 minutes. So let's talk about Warhammer.
Hey!
So, being a big fan of Necromunda, I mentioned on the Discord that there's a movement, a hashtag that goes around called hashtag every model's an Necromunda model.
Yes.
And looking at the stuff from LVO, apart from the over-the-top missile-wielding Nerf
we'll
gunning,
get to them.
We'll get to those.
Should we just say, apart from the Marines?
Apart from the Marines,
for the time
I
being.
can't see anything in that range of stuff that's been shown off that I couldn't find a way to fit into Necromunda.
Well, 40k or just everything?
All of it.
Oh, wow.
So, like, you've got he's got a picture of the Daughters of Cain from Narwood. They'd make a great Helot gang or some cool things for Esches. A couple of head swaps here and there, maybe the odd weapon swap, but just looking at the models themselves. I mean, this is the thing, is that I often see models as a basis, as a conversion.
I always panic a bit with conversions. I always feel like I play it far too safe. You know, if I like do a head swap, I feel like I need to have a lie down. You know what I mean? It's like,
Well, you got to start somewhere. Jeff. It just takes time.
I tell you what I had to do the other week. Do you know the Space Marine Captain Phobos armor? Yeah, when he's pointing, managed to drop in and snap his finger off.
Oh, that's nothing worse than that.
So what I did was I took the top off one of the, the Phobos Marines have aerials on their back.
That's clever.
I cut one of the aerials very close and I glued it on to be the end of his finger.
I had one of my favourite models is the Darkling Coven Sorceress. So she looks a bit like a Daughter of Cain.
Yeah,
and she has a hand out like that, but she's spread out.
Yeah,
looks like she's casting a spell. And I don't know how, but over time, every single one of those fingers has come off.
Oh no!
So she's just got like a nugget hand.
Well, just sculpted like an oven glove.
Maybe not him. Maybe not the massive Seraphon stuff. Other than the Seraphon stuff, even there, I suppose you can make like a weird tribe of lizard people. But
well, you could use the mounts, couldn't you?
They'd be cool though.
The mounts would be good in Ash Waste, wouldn't they?
The Seraphon stuff looks amazing. It's about time we got new Skinks and Saurus. It really is. They are so. Oh, Soul Shackle.
Oh yeah, so the what are they called again? RBTs.
RBTs. Astartes, RBTs. I've always called them Arbites, but the official terminology is RBTs.
So
sounds weird to say.
They look really cool.
They've got some classic styles there.
I love them. I do think the Vox thing for the captain's a bit big. I wouldn't like to try
on Voxes.
They just
my God, that's huge.
Wouldn't you be bouncing that just round every corridor, surely?
I'd want that as a separate thing.
At the top of a set of stairs of a city hall and calling for a riot to cease, yes. Yeah. In the internal claustrophobic corridors of a spaceship, I'd maybe just leave that.
I'd love him just clanking around and being like, enter stealth mode.
I like it. It's just, I like the concept. It's just too big, though, isn't it?
There's the kinky guy.
Kinky boy at the back.
Yeah, kinky boy with his leather.
I assume, I've been trying to figure out what they all are. He's obviously going to be the Brawler, isn't he? Is it called Brawler in Kill Team?
I think so.
Yeah, he's going to be Brawler, isn't it? Obviously Sniper. You can go a couple of standard.
Yeah, so you got like a nice selection of like
medic.
Yeah, he's got a little medic.
Like standard looking dudes with shotguns and stuff. Heavy gunners.
I don't know what that guy is though.
Which one?
That one, because he's got something in his hand that makes him look like he's a bit of a medic.
Maybe he's like you get that like tactical side of stuff.
Yeah, some of them can go through the walls. Well, it's interesting because the breaches, I think originally, because even in the first battle report on Warhammer Plus, they were like, oh, this breacher, he's going to cut through the wall.
Yeah.
And you can't actually do that.
Yes, whereas you got a wall panel now that's cut.
Yes.
So they're probably obviously going to fudge the rules a bit.
Yeah.
And there's Doggo. Oh, he's great.
And I love it because he's K9 and his owner has K8.
Oh, brilliant. Or as I call that dog, Big Growler.
So you got K9 and Kate is what you've got.
Ooh.
Is it Kate? Is that a name?
Yeah.
I reckon so.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Kate. This is K9.
Yeah.
It's funny because
they look really cool.
I wonder whether
Jakari look good. I think that's an upgrade sprue. Is that right?
Yeah.
Can I just say about the Arbites? The interesting thing there is, and maybe will be proved different, is that it doesn't look like any of them got any bare heads.
Well, you don't know. I mean, that's
they might do. It'd be interesting to see whether there is actually any. When he's saying about Kate, whether there's any female options in there.
I reckon there will be. They normally seem to have like an abundance of heads. Like cool, like sort of consoles, and I like the little tabletop war game of Kill Team as well.
Yeah, being able to pop the wall out's really cool.
Yeah,
but like they said, 13 new pieces, and then showed 4.
That's duplicates, though.
Yeah,
so you can have duplicates there if you look at the map.
Right, the Kill Team board is good.
Oh, so they've got the full picture, and there's like 1, 2. A lot of it looks like it's all just consoles.
Yeah.
It's like tables, and it's like one sprue repeated twice. That's normally how.
Can I say I understand the setting and I get it, but 3 in now out of 4. I must be honest, I'm getting a bit bored of them walls.
Yeah,
it'd be nice to have like different Star Wars.
Well, it would, because the whole thing is they talk about space hulks are spaceships that are being dragged towards each other, and then they smash and become an amalgam of things. But yeah, then when they go in it, it's all just Imperial walls. You go, why isn't some of it sleek and Tau and Eldar? And
part of me wants like higher walls with some stairwells on it, but then it falls into the realms of like Zen Mortalis. Then, so it's like
what would be really cool and creepy? What if one of the Hive fleets had been dragged into it, and a bit you were walking through was actually just creature.
A very alien feel
like
to it as
ribs
well.
And ribs and just flesh hanging off the walls.
The massive Space Hulk, anyway, it's millennia old, millions of years old, not even millennia, millions of years old, because it talks about it in the very first book. And it starts off as these alien ships.
Yeah, from pre-humans.
Very alien ships, and then over the years, more ships have collided with it, and it's like distorted, and like because it's the warps involved in there as well. Like you walk from one side of a ship and appear on the other side of the ship, on the other side of the actual space hulk, because of the way it's all. So
like
having
Pac-Man, where you go off one side and you come in on the other.
But it'll be interesting to see other sorts of like tech and stuff. It's all very imperial. It's like, but then back in when I worked in, I'm trying to avoid saying back in the day because my wife keeps going, you use that word a lot. I'm like, I do, don't I?
It's just the drinking game.
It's just the drink. Yeah, it should be the drinking game. But I remember when we did a lot of scenery for 40k, it was always imperial based scenery, because it was always fighting over destroyed worlds or intact worlds. But there was never any Tau scenery or Eldar scenery. People were like, why is there no Eldar scenery?
And then weirdly, when they do Tau scenery, which they haven't done a great deal of, but when they do, it's always intact.
Yeah.
It's only Imperial worlds that seem to get trashed.
Yeah.
The Orcs seem to be all right.
Yeah.
And the Eldar seem to be. You don't get much Eldar scenery either.
Well, it's because it's a craft world, isn't it? So you'll be floating around in space. But then why not? But the problem with doing that is you limit who wants that.
Yeah,
whereas this is generic.
I get it, and also the fact that they've obviously been playing this idea somewhere along the idea of having like boards and actions, which makes sense if it's it's going to make sense if it's Imperium.
Because I think when they released boarding actions and they said if you have 2 kill team sets, like 2 sets of walls, you already have it, and I think that was a push for people to be like, okay, I will get the next, so that people have bought 2 kill teams. But now this third one's come out. Like I've seen people in our Discord say, I've already got 2 sets of walls. I don't need a third.
Yeah,
like I'll just wait until they're released on their own.
Yeah, and I think
tell you what, it'd be good though. It'd be good for Necromunda if you had too much of it. You could just start gluing one on top of the other, couldn't you?
Yeah. No, I mean I'm looking at those walls now and how I'd use those in Necromunda,
because we have a set of unpainted walls for the second kill team video. We just
Shadow Vault, wasn't it? Yeah.
You only did the add-ons.
Yeah, just did the add-ons and said, hey, and turned it more into.
Because what I'd like to do is make like using those as the lower section.
Yeah,
put the Zone Mortalis tiles on the top, or make roof tiles or like walkways that you can take that off, so you've got interior detail in some areas, and then you can have like a more of an external sort of hive gantries and walkways and stuff.
Because we'll end up with kill team that one, won't we? So then we'll end up with a third set of walls,
and
then potentially a fourth set of walls.
Because it'd be interesting, like, because say we've used.
I'm going to save them all up and fence my garden.
Nice.
Because we've done Dirty Down Rust on for like 2 videos.
We could do something different.
We could paint these and be like, how about streaking grime?
Yeah. Or like grey undercoats, green, doing green interiors. I mean, one of the doll's house and things I tend to go into is like you could make rooms that are specific as well. So you with the way the kill team's built is like different scenarios build the walls in different way. But as a narrative player, I'd want to have like a medical room, and I'd paint the inside of the medical room so it's like either like a weird mint green or like an off-white or something like that. Which fits in really, and then make it so it's actually built in, so it won't ever move. It's not like modular. It's it's created that way, but you do cool stuff.
Well, that one's interesting because I've never seen GW lay it out with such a small they've almost turned that into rooms as opposed to in the previous ones they've been long corridors with big, quite large rooms. But the fact there's a small room there, and on the left there's a slightly bigger room, and then at the top there's another one. That one's laid out quite different. I'm wondering do you think that's got the same amount of walls as the other scene?
I think so. I think it's the same.
It'll be the same.
Because what you'll have found is they've put the same amount of tiles in there. They've probably removed one, which I can't remember what will be in the very first set, and then replaced it, because like the Shadow Vault had the little tractor units and the sort of ammo bits that
and then
ammo dumps and extra like walls with like the guns on it. So this is just removing that sprue and replacing it with that one. So
Cool though. I like. I feel a bit bad because I don't know enough about the Takari, so they're going, "Oh, the Takari are bad."
They're just cool looking builds. I mean, it looks like they've got
an accessory sprue.
Yeah, so some of the weapons
everything
are
does.
very witch cult based weapons, but they're on Cabalite warriors, which is interesting. So normally,
Okay.
like you get the razor blades, which is like it can be a full blade or it can be like a segmented kind of flail thing.
Yeah.
And one of the Cabalite warriors has got that, and there's one that's got one of the sort of gladiatorial face masks as well that the witch cult have. So. But I would quickly on Warcry as well. The Warcry warbands. Oh my god, they'll be so much fun for.
Haven't they got something that looks like a werewolf?
So you've got some vampires and you've got some corn cultists and
Oh yeah, that's the werewolf thing.
Yeah, I mean they'd make like a really interesting like Ash Wastes sort of nomad gang or like deep in the because you got a guy called Karloff Valoy who's like an undead sort of. Not necromancer, but those they're corpse grinders waiting to be happened, aren't
Yeah,
they?
that guy.
Corpse grinder with bells on, isn't it?
Yeah, or just
Yeah.
another Helot gang.
Oh wow, he's on like all fours. Crikey.
Yeah, it's like a weird werebeast.
Oh yeah, he's like a human on all fours, but also has like a little stubby tail.
a little stubby tail. But yeah, very cornate looking chaos cultists, which would work well in a lot of game systems, really.
Yeah, there's some lovely stuff in that new box.
And getting those new, because we've seen the pictures of them now, the corn cultists for the corn World Eaters release.
Oh yeah.
Again, that's just another cool set
Some
of,
lovely
like,
stuff
dudes.
in that new World Eaters box, in that new World Eaters army.
Yeah. I mean, Angron. It was interesting. There a bunch of people after we obviously did our video about sort of like Games Workshop crediting people and that kind of thing. There was an article and it was like, here's what went into designing the new Demon Primarch. We chat to Darren. Full stop.
Darren Parwood, Darren Latham.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. So anyway, a few people picked up on that now, which is interesting.
Yeah.
And then every time I scroll through, because I follow a lot of the heavy metal painters and sculptors and stuff. And every time I see, proud to say I was part of the team, and you're like, lol.
Yeah.
Was you, John? Full stop.
Yeah.
Yeah, some cool, interesting looking stuff though. From
I'm psyched for the World Eaters. I think they look really cool.
Yeah, they really are.
The Dark Angels box got announced. Those models have been announced.
Everything in it, bar the characters, is pre-existing.
We need to go and
But
do
the
some Dark
characters are
Angels,
nice. I
do.
think both characters are nice. I like they both look cool.
Yeah.
And then that was it, because Marines never got anything, and no one's got anything to say about anything Marines from LVO, have they?
No, I think
they brought a little bit out. Everyone seemed really happy about it. Thought it looked cool.
Yeah.
And then that's it. So that was the LVO. Shall we move on?
Nice. Yeah. That's
end of podcast.
Go on. The photographs up. Let's.
Let's talk about the Dreadnought first, shall we?
Yeah.
That was quite cool.
Oh yeah, I like the Dreadnought.
Oh yeah, with claws.
I think the whatever that gun is on the top, whatever it's called.
Something.
I can't see it from here. I don't know. I've not actually looked at
the one that's the gun that goes on the back of the repulsor executioner.
Oh right.
Is it a heavy twin Icarus Iron Hail heavy stubbers?
They're the ones.
Sure,
yeah. They're the ones you do a little bit better if you're shooting at aircraft with them.
Oh right, okay.
So yeah, it's got that, which
for a close combat dread, it does have a lot of guns on.
It does, yeah. Yeah, there are
flamers, lots of flamers.
Yeah.
The world according to Auspex Tactics, he said the same thing. He said for something that's close combat, it still seems to be quite gunny.
Yeah.
Because it's got twin multi-melters, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And I think you can take them out, I believe, and you can have them as heavy bolters.
Pass.
And you can have power fists instead of the claws. So you end up with guns instead of just the big claws. You can have the ones that have got a gun.
Yeah.
I've got what probably be storm bolters or something attached underneath them or something. So it's out to do two jobs, and I think the smashing you in the face job will probably do the best.
Yeah.
But it looks like it's well equipped for covering a couple of bases.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And then we've got some heavy intercessors in that box as well.
Yeah, well, we like the heavy intercessors. I'm a big fan of the heavy intercessors, to be fair.
I mean, I like the primary stuff. I've always been quite a big fan of the design aesthetic of it, like the armor, the scale of it. And I remember seeing someone saying that it looks like they've just run out of ideas. But I know these are quite old.
Oh no, they've been talking about the heavy intercessors.
No, I'm just talking about Marines in general, just like all the stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm getting to the point now where it's like, what Oh, the heavy interceptors, I think I actually quite like. The helmets, I like the guns and stuff.
Yeah, because they put 5 of them in there, haven't they? I wonder whether they've overmade heavy intercessors, because they seem to be having in everything at the moment.
Yeah,
they're in the Imperial Fist boxes, just
heavy intercessors.
So from my old point of view, no, not old man, but being in the hobby for so long, I remember I could easily recall Space Marines, which is like you got scouts. You got assault marines, you got tactical marines, you got devastators, you got terminators.
Yeah.
Sometimes terminators are close combat, sometimes they're a bit shooty.
Yeah.
Now it's like I can't tell you what's what. I don't know what an infiltrator is in comparison to an incursor. What's the difference between this guy to that guy? There's this type of weapon that so you get inceptors and you get intercessors and then you get aggressors and then when does one become the next? And like there's just so many different types of armor, so many different types of styles. I'm just like I'm put off doing it.
Well, the really ironic thing is
just so much.
The really ironic thing is talking about playing all the different variants of armor is the fact that the idea within the game is that a Primaris wears a system doesn't need that you can wear any of it bolts on but it still seems just weirdly still be quite considering.
But before it's like if you're a tactical marine you'd have like some of them might have Mark II armor, some of them might have Mark III armor. That had no bearing on the game. It was just like it's just cool ancient armor unless you really want to be a bit narrative and go this one's a bit more
because basically with the Gravis armor, to give it its correct term, it's like skirting around the idea of Terminators, but not just quite sticking your toe in the water, isn't it? It's like constantly this like, oh, they're bigger, or they're this and that, and you're going, for the love of God, why didn't you just from the beginning, why didn't you just do bloody Primaris Terminators and be done with it? Because it's like they just can't quite seem to settle. But we got a new lieutenant as well.
Oh, with the Power Fist,
we needed more of them. But to be fair, his loadout is actually really cool. He covers pretty much all of the bases of things a Primaris lieutenant can take.
Oh, right, okay.
Why not just make a set of a lieutenant set with all the options, as opposed to 20, 30 different variants of them there is, just make one box set. You don't have to make a million tools then, do you?
No. And then they put something else in the box that no one's been talking about, really, and everyone's been ignoring.
The Meme Squad.
Yay!
Yes. Our memes channel on Discord has been popping off.
I've seen these guns painted,
as the kids would say,
painted bright green as Nerf guns. I've seen them painted as that.
There's that. I've seen.
What are they called?
Oh, Desolation. I don't know. It begins with a D.
As long as it's not Decimators, because they're only killing 1/10 of the enemy, aren't they? And I want something that kills a bit more than that.
Peachy coming in with all of your maths humour. Johnny 5, Wally. People have been putting pictures on.
Nerf guns.
Zorg from The Fifth Element. When he's talking about how good his gun is.
That's very good.
And they've put that in, and that was really, really good.
I mean, I've got to go back to like my old hat of workshop, and I know someone's obviously put a lot of heart and soul into these models. And I don't know if it was like early days sort of training, or if someone really, this is a star, but at some point when you're doing a thing, from my point of view, in like a studio environment, you have a feedback process, and usually you have like the common sense guy comes along and goes, you've got too many guns on there. That looks a bit silly. I don't think that. It feels like that process never happened here.
Was he on holiday?
I don't know. I mean, if it was. And again, this is no disrespect to the person, because they look great, but it's just. I don't know. It's become comical.
So you're looking for.
And again,
much.
like
it's too much. It's too much.
I haven't seen anyone on Instagram say that they were proud to be part of the team that did that. And maybe that's a good thing.
His name is just the full stop.
If it did have a name on, crikey, they'd be getting some stick right now, wouldn't they?
I'm sure Matt Ward will get blamed for it.
Can I? So I'm going to put my tinfoil hat on. I think, I know that these were in the photography studio when I was at workshop. So my career started there in April 2021, and they were on the tables being photographed. I never saw them, but I was told about them and told that they were the stupidest looking Space Marines that you would ever see. And I remember asking someone, I was like, when are they doing anything with them? And they were like, oh, they've been putting it off because they don't know what to do with them. And I feel like, I think, obviously, so if they're in the photography studio, and that was 2 years ago, then they were designed and painted. Those could be like 5 years old.
Yeah, probably long. Yeah,
do you potentially designed. When was heavy? Like when was Gravis armor introduced?
In 8th edition with the captain. In
Oh,
the
okay,
Stars of Bond.
right, okay.
Yeah.
The one that looks pregnant.
The one that looks pregnant, who now has been replaced.
Yes, by like he's come back off maternity.
Yeah,
and he's got washboard abs again. Yeah.
I picked up a cloak as well because ever since having the baby, he just feels the cold.
Did he have any? Did he at least do some of his kit days? Keep in touch days. Did he like just come back to like the odd war zone every now and again?
Keep your hand in.
Yeah.
You'd be like, well, you're on full pay.
He did like what the rest of us do. You bring the baby into the office and no one gives a
Deviant. So true. Hold my baby. I'll just be like, no, I'm vegan. Thank you.
Got one at home. Don't even like old that one. I'm not old yours.
So maybe they weren't. I mean, maybe. Oh, crikey. So maybe Gravis armor was. So maybe they're not pre-Gravis armor.
No, I don't think so. No,
they're designed pre-heavy intercessors. Perhaps.
Yes.
Because if they were in Gravis armor, it would maybe make a bit more sense.
As in like bulked up because
because they've got these massive guns and it's like, hey dog, we heard you like guns, so we put some guns on your guns, so now you can gun when you gun. You're like, okay, thanks. That's a Pimp My Ride.
I want to know what the recoil is on them.
Yeah,
maybe jetpacks just to like slow themselves down.
The problem maybe is that rules wise, if you were to put them in Gravis armor,
be too good.
They just hang around a little bit too much. Might be your problem.
Yeah.
But there's some of the variants of them, because there is a number of variants of them. There's like one that's double, one that's like multi-launch thing on top of that weird Gatling gun looking missile.
My favourite is the guy who has the massive gun, but then takes out his little pea shooter.
Why is he shooting a pistol?
Not only that, but what I like is the fact that he takes out his pistol and then before he fires it, takes the holster off and throws that away.
Oh, he doesn't have a holster on.
Maybe. He never had a holster, so he has to carry that and can't fire his rocket. You've not thought about this, have you?
Yeah.
He's like, great, I've got nowhere to put this.
Well, I know in the fluff they say that Marines can actually
magnetise. Yeah.
But if they can magnetise them, why do they have leather holsters in the first place? Why didn't you just a gun on their leg?
I mean, maybe it's on his butt and we can't see it.
Maybe.
We haven't had a 360 yet, I don't think, have we?
No.
But they will still sell...
I mean the Marines.
Well, I've got to be honest.
In the bucket loads
for my son's army, I think my rule of thumb will be for my son's army. If rules wise they're great, I'll get them. But if they're rules wise, they're not.
Honestly, it would have been cooler if it was rocket launchers or big machine guns.
Yeah,
and have a choice. But someone's gone. I'll just stick them both together.
Yeah. But like the rules can change so quickly. Like,
I think what I'll do is maybe I've got a good painting backlog, so I'll wait 6 months, give them time to nerf them.
Yeah. Because they're not Primaris, like the Devastator. Like they're like Space Marines in like massive suits. Like
Centurions.
the Centurions. Yeah.
But they're not Primaris.
Because so when they first came out,
they got stick as well.
They were, I think they were like very good, but then nobody fields them anymore because apparently they just got.
I mean they used to. I remember when they first came out, people would mock them as well.
I really liked them.
Yeah, I mean they had a cool heavy warsuit vibe.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of times you do get the odd hit and miss, right, with any kind of product and stuff.
Of course,
and I do remember that there was models there'd be a team of people that would decide what went and what didn't, because they knew what would sell and what wouldn't sell.
Oh, right.
And there was a lot of models that were sculpted that never made the cut.
Oh, yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, like...
And I just can't understand how... And it sounds harsh, but it's... For me, it would have been better if it was a big sort of Gatling gun.
Yeah.
Or an option of a rocket launcher. Bit like, Commandos.
But weird thing is,
like shoulder mounted or something.
Yeah.
I don't think the gun underneath is a gun. I don't think the gun.
I don't know what it is.
I think it fires
rockets
that are then actually belt-fed rockets coming into it, which is really bizarre.
You got all the rockets.
Yeah.
What my brain keeps going back to my real world understanding of things going. If they're on a belt fed, why are they then sitting at the front waiting to go? Surely they would just fire from where they are. I don't know. No, I'm not going to start thinking about it. That's so Johnny 5. I can't believe no one noticed that when they were making it.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I get the potentially.
No one can see what we're talking about, unfortunately.
Yeah, people will know.
People will know.
Yeah. Again, wonderful viewing for our audio only listeners. So
Well, you asked for podcasts. It's your own fault.
yeah.
We were quite happy just put on YouTube.
Yeah,
You know, when,
yeah.
Oh, I want to listen to it when I'm driving and in the gym. And they go, well, this is what you get.
Maybe we should be more descriptive as we talk.
No.
Yes.
No, they wanted it and they've got it. And now they have to.
Yeah, they've made their bed and they can blooming well lie in it.
No, we love you all, podcast listeners,
Yes.
honest.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah. No, I think it's about like 300 or 400 people listen to it on Spotify or
that's
something like that.
interesting, yeah.
I've been trying to unfortunately low down on a list of priorities too. I thought I'd got it all on like Apple Podcasts and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And Google sent me an email and said, "Oh, some people have listened to it on Google Podcasts," and I was like, "All right,
Nice.
don't know how it was there." So maybe I did that by accident, but yeah. They're interesting. I think maybe like so much work got done on them. They were like, "Hey, we painted these." Like Heavy Metal have spent like a week. They're now worth thousands of pounds, and they've been designed.
Yeah, but I mean, there was
out.
the dwarf tank that was made, and there's so much years and effort were put into that. And there was this fun sort of, well, I say funny, it was a funny comment, which was the most expensive base in Games Workshop's history.
Oh, because the base all really ornate, is it?
Yeah, it says it's the Sylvaneth Treeman has
yeah.
a bit of the tank sculpted on the base, so they took like some of the imagery from the dwarf tank and put it onto the base.
Oh, I see what you mean.
So the dwarf tank never actually made it because it would make like a troop transport or like a sort of Anvil of Doom kind of thing.
Yeah.
Right, Anvil of Doom. Yeah, Anvil of Doom. And it just never made the cut because a couple of people just went, I just don't think it fits. With Age of Sigmar, it probably fit more now, but it was just a thing that was like, we painted loads for the, like, because we had like resins, and we painted loads for like the army painting team, and the Heavy Metal did a bunch and stuff, and it was just like, nah, it's never going to make it. It's not going to make the cut, so it just got canned. And
Oh, right.
you know, so
Bless them. With them, though, the amount of people I've seen, not just taking the mick, but using Photoshop, doing their best to trying to figure out how to make them. I've seen them, the missile pods on the backpacks and
however you do it, it looks equally silly. Yeah.
It doesn't seem to be much opportunity to save them, bless them. And they're a bit. There is odd things going on with it, like the fact that they've all got. Some of them have different sighting systems on their back as well.
some have like slightly larger ones. Yeah, I've noticed that, like a big sort of extra Auspex. Well, he's the leader, so he needs extra ones.
He's got a different kind of gun, which maybe means that guy's
right.
got that. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh no, he's got that. So the most of them are red and green, and then it's just these two guys
I've got weirder ones
that have only got little red ones.
Oh, excuse me if you want it. It's for the weapons, because like something like the Intercessor bolt rifles have like different bits that go. Maybe it's just
maybe
that. I'm making assumptions on some images I know nothing about.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to buy them. I'm not going to paint them.
No, I rarely buy Marines anyway. Definitely less so now.
Yeah. But if you do like them and you do buy them.
So all the power to you. We won't be seeing them in 12 hours then, no.
Sorry?
We won't be seeing them done in 12 hours.
No, I'd rather paint something far more interesting in 12 hours.
Yeah.
Marines, just for me, don't do it for me. I paint them loads at work, but it's not an army I'd really do for myself. I know you're a big fan of Marines.
Yeah, I don't mind.
Someone's got to be the bad guys.
Well,
right?
actually, they're not my. They're actually not my. I paint them, but they're not actually my army.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
I'm that guy that gives
Maybe
you options to fight against.
Yeah, I'd like to see maybe in 10th edition for as a Death Guard player, other than one special character, we get something else.
I know my mate Steve wants me to get into Horus Heresy. And it's just like, do you think you're getting into Horus Heresy? Oh, you do really well with like Iron Warriors. You just want an Iron Warriors player, don't you? I'm not into it. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Not for me, mate. I'm sick and tired of Marines. Just give me flesh bags.
What would you say was been your highlight of LVO then?
I think RBTs and I quite like the vampires from Warcry. I think they're pretty cool.
I think it's the RBTs for me, I would say.
Yeah, probably the same for me. Yeah. I mean, I'm purely thinking of like, that's our next Kill Team video. Yeah. Right, cool.
I'm just thinking of quick ways of painting them. Spray black.
I just keep thinking I just looked at the RBTs team and just immediately thought, is that my next Necromunda gang?
Yeah.
Yeah, they do have some cool Necromunda-ness too.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they used to be used in Necromunda.
Yeah, and they will, and they'll come back for Necromunda for that. But also, though, looking roughly at my guessing at the loadout, their loadout looks virtually identical to what you've got for Enforcers anyway.
Yeah.
So you could just do them as a
Enforcers,
use them as a replacement using the Enforcers rule, couldn't you?
Yeah. I mean, it was before. I mean, back at trying to be mindful of not saying back in the day. Back in the day. We used to see like the RBTs being used because there's a couple of scenarios, but enforcers became a thing when Dark Uprising was made. So I always thought, are they Arbites now? RBTs, so are they RBTs now? It's like, no, they're enforcers.
Do you remember the thing I always wanted and never got? And I think it used to be a thing that Sisters of Battle could use as well. Do you remember the Arbites Rhino with the extra higher top on it?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they did an Arbites Rhino, and weirdly, the Sisters could use it as well. And it added like another, like, not quite half an inch onto the top of it, and it gave it this slightly different shape. It was really cool. It was a Forge World model, and sadly
cool.
it's gone by the way.
Yeah, I'd like to see some like more stuff like that, like the ecclesiarchy based stuff, like Fraterus Militia, and because they were like Sisters of Battle back in the day with their big sort of like, oh, look at my chest and my unbuttoned shirt, pistols in the air.
Like I said last week, I have to overcompensating for the fact that their bosses are women.
Yeah, well, yeah. How's it going? Is it scrubbed off?
Are you doing an early test, are you, Pat?
So we've reached the hour mark in our recording.
Really? That flew by.
It says 30 minutes to 2 hours, so I'm just having a go. It says, to be honest, I'm doing it incorrectly. I'm glad you give me the tissue because my fingers are covered in goo. Yeah, so I'm just scrubbing it off in some water, and it's working a treat.
Oh, brilliant! Fantastic.
It's working a treat. So
I would like to borrow your Goopy fingers very soon, if that's possible. That sounded much better in my head.
Did it? In your head, that sounded good. Really?
I was just going to say, how?
I was just thinking that, really.
I mean, dry them off first. Your fingers.
Even if you'd have just gone, I'd like to borrow your fingers, still would have been bad. But Goopy fingers, what point was that good?
I don't know. My internal policeman failed me again.
Your internal Arbites.
So a good my internal Arbites. Yeah.
Quickly, I had to eat my words because I thought when they said Arbites for Kill Team, and I'll just quickly go on to say this, I went, that makes no sense to me at all about the idea that the Arbites are doing, Space Hulk effectively. That makes no sense. But the very brief little background I read on the rules, they were saying that they've crashed into one, haven't they? And they're transporting quite an important psyker. So they're like they're the prison crew. They've captured it.
Do you reckon that's why that guy's got the handcuffs, because he's got loose? It's like, he's got loose again now, lads.
Yeah, it would be interesting, wouldn't it, be see if maybe whoever the psyker is in. Yeah, maybe in the next box. Yeah, that'd be quite cool.
Maybe it's Cherubical.
Oh, that'd be good. But so
Pat's fingers in a minute.
Yeah. Go on anyway. Pat's fingers.
Let's get back to something serious.
Something serious. So a friend and an acquaintance from the internet who did a nice sketch for me back in the day. Said it again, Liz. Of me as an enforcer, because I did a couple of Twitch games for Necromunda.
All right. Okay.
And I've asked him, and we have got some art of us.
No.
Oh yeah, yes, and we can use this art for commercial uses as well.
Oh, that's
now.
really
Hopefully,
nice.
Pat will put these images up over the screen.
Yeah, I'll download
Were these the
them.
ones that were these ones that we posed for?
Yeah, I asked you to do some weird poses for me. With no context whatsoever.
There's one of them I hope he hasn't picked.
No. Yeah, he was thinking about it. I think we picked the wrong factions.
When I was doing my best to look sexy.
Because you've got the hair for a Van Sar and I've got the hair for a Dalak, so it made it a bit harder for the guy. So he's done some art which we can use for when we're playing games as overlays or cool. Imagery, even as our profile pictures when we do Instagram. So we have Jeff.
Oh, look at that!
As a Dalak. You did say yellow and purple was your scheme,
that's right,
that's what we've gone for there.
Oh wow!
So that's
amazing,
Barber Jeff. It looks great. It's just too much hair for a Dalak. You are like the.
I like to think I'm like Overlord Dalak. The only one who's allowed to have hair is the one in charge.
Maybe you're an uphive and you've come down and you're like, I'll see what's going on, guys. I'll see. So this is from Kabuski. His name is.
I look like? I look like like where they've decided that in 200 years' time, no matter what it takes, it's still important to keep Brian Blessed alive.
Yes, absolutely. Because of his voice.
At all costs, keep him going.
So yes, Benjamin, who he's known as Kabuski on Instagram, does some amazing conversion clinic stuff.
Benjamin,
as well.
that's amazing. Thank you so much. I really love that.
So that is Jeff,
Yeah.
also known as they're called the Shadow Collective now.
The Shadow Company.
A Shadow Company, sorry,
Yeah.
Shadow Company. Then there is.
How heroic do you look?
I don't know. He's just made me look heroic. He's got my head shaped to a T.
That's cool, that is, man.
So that is. I need to
The
paint.
glow on the armour as well is
that-
awesome.
He's because he's
Do you
seen the
know what?
images of what I've done.
Do you know what? Considering you look heroic and in fine health for somebody who's absolutely radioactively
Oh yeah,
riddled.
I like to
of
think I'm still
Vansara.
young. I'm still young because like the Neotechs have less plugs in them and less radiation thrown through their body.
Yeah.
And then the most hipster of all,
Have you seen this already, Pat? Have you seen yours
Yeah.
already?
Yeah.
the most hipster of all corpse grinders with glasses.
That's awesome. I wish I'd picked corpse
He's
grinders
like,
now.
meat is murder.
You need some windscreen. If you're going to keep killing people like that, you're going to need some windscreen wipers for them glasses.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Genius. So we've got some bits of art.
They are. Oh, Benjamin, you're a star.
He
They
is
are
absolutely. He's such a talented
awesome.
guy. He did some stuff in lockdown for us, and it was just like, he didn't have to, but
That's the crossest I've ever seen.
yeah.
I like to think, who's the blood from? Is it me? Is it you?
Yeah.
And I like the backgrounds as well. So you got like
Yeah.
that tone. So you're
Looks
red
like
for
it always-
yours, bit of purple for you, bit
Yeah.
of green for me.
It always looks like it's rain and blood behind him, doesn't it?
I'm so glad I didn't pick Ashes now. I didn't.
Or me as an Escher, that would be a few pints deep to take her home.
I mean, I still painted the gang up. I was going to do a poll, but I decided, you know what, the art looks amazing, so
Yeah.
I'm going to just go with Van Sars for that alone. And more people voted for Van Sars in
They did, they absolutely did.
commented about you should
Van
do Van
Sars.
Sars. You should do Van Sars. It wasn't really a vote. It was just like
yeah.
ch what you'd like to see me do.
They are awesome. I'm so impressed.
Yeah,
They're really,
they're
really
wonderful,
good.
aren't they? Yeah.
They really
So we'll
are.
get them used on our socials and hopefully somehow in the game.
I'm now thinking about the idea that if I do,
Have you seen this man?
if I do any further, do any further Delac further down the line, I'm wondering why to see if I can pull me sculpting gear together and see. If
Well, I've got loads of beardy faces that I could lend you. So
just have like the Uberlord Delac is the only one to have hair.
Yeah. It's actually what he's got is he's gone down to the downhive markets and just found like little hair squigs, and then just he's gone to the Ash. He's gone. Have you got transplants or like little squigs or little beasties? Yeah, have these. Don't know why the Ash is so like. Yeah, have these.
Yeah, they're wonderful.
I love it. Yeah.
What an amazing!
That's really good.
That's made my day. That
I'll have to try and use them as I don't know, something in the Necromunda video.
And see if my
I'm-
wife can
that's-
print some out for me as well, and I can do them as wanted posters.
Oh, that'd be good, wouldn't it?
Stick them on the tiles.
Oh, that'd be well cool.
Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah, that's it. Now, definitely changing my avatars for 300-year-old blind blessed. Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah,
300-year-old blind blessed.
brought him out of cryogenics.
Yeah,
and,
absolutely right.
Hello.
Yeah, so yes, thank you very much, Kabuski.
Oh,
I didn't even touch it. Didn't even touch it. I'm gonna have to hold that now.
So yeah, we've got some boom arms on the way.
I'm just gonna hold it.
Which might have been what
the order?
the buzzer was maybe,
Oh,
but
maybe.
Amazon doesn't usually deliver this early around this area.
Oh,
But there we go.
interesting.
Yeah. So we really has been a waffly show today, hasn't it?
Yeah, well, we waffled about all sorts. I mean, it took us half an hour to get on the subject. Really, I like most days.
Yeah.
We're like that,
Yeah,
aren't
it's
we?
fine.
15 minutes spent on weird Japanese rituals.
Oh yeah. Oh no.
I think it was more than that.
So we're planning on playing a game straight after December.
Oh, we are. I'm
yeah.
so excited.
It's going to take a little while to set the room around. But,
Yeah,
but yeah.
But me and Pat last week did a test for filming.
Yeah, apparently you
seems to have gone all right. So I
Yeah.
don't know if from an editing point of view, but certainly from
couple of I haven't edited it in full. I was looking at the maybe we'll release it on like Patreon or something like
Yeah.
that. But yeah, some learnings and how to film in this room and trying to make it look all right and all that sort
Yeah.
of stuff.
And apparently you did really well.
no. I got murdered horribly.
Minced.
I don't think my Vansards are going to do particularly well. I've got 8 guys. They're so expensive. They all come with armour as their cost, so they get armoured undersuits as their added cost. My old guy, he's like the Silver Fox. He's got like grey hair. He looks a bit like you, but with more greys. A lot more greys. He's almost white. He's polar blonde.
And a lot slimmer if he's going to fit into one of them Vansars.
Yeah, absolutely. They're quite. They can hide a lot though. But he's got like a bit more armor, and he's just a cripple. It's just like,
I feel like if I get within an inch of him, he just falls over.
You know what gets me about this guy, right? Is that I think we played about 3 games now, and each one is just like, oh, I'm going to lose this. Oh, it's just so hard, and it's really tricky.
I used to have one of them in 40k. I used to have a regular opponent who literally had packed up and gone home before we'd even started playing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then would just mince me every game.
Yeah, this guy.
I mean, like the only games in Necromunda we had a tiny little test game just getting used to stuff.
Wasn't it? Yeah.
So the only 2 proper games I've played ever are against you.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'd learned early on. I was like, right, I need to kind of stay behind cover, otherwise I'm going to get shot to bits by las guns. And like if I've won, it's not my doing. It's like
it's just charging and hitting, right?
Yeah. And like either lucky dice rolls or maybe the corpse grinders are a bit. Maybe actually it's all a lie, and I've been chasing the meta.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think that this is the thing about the game is that every gang has its strengths and weaknesses, right? I know we're going on a bit, and we will round up soon enough. But like the Vansars, utter tossing combat, right?
Yeah.
They can hit you with a rifle, but I mean, unless you get the high star shield and then like a shock stave or a shock baton.
But then you're paying the big money for it.
Oh yeah, I mean, don't get me started on that. That's another rant for another session about some of the selections you can have in the actual basic build on the box. Because I've not used Vansars, I just followed the box thinking that like 1,000 creds.
I just followed
it was not 1,000 creds. It's far more than that. But yeah, so they're really good at shooting. So their ballistic skills really good. They've got really good weapons, and they're well maintained. You've got some really good tech skills as well. So I've got a plasma cannon lady, and I've given her one of the tech skills which stops the ammo from being scarce, so she doesn't just run out. But yeah, shooting at pat stuff, I'm like, pin this guy, pin that. And this is a great thing. Like, you pin someone, it takes an action to stand up, so you can't charging is a double action, right? Unless he gets his blooming tactics card out, which means charging is a simple action. Which is what happens.
Absolute rotter.
Yeah. So I'm just like, oh no, I'm on the floor. I'm up again, and I'm going to charge you.
But the worst bit about that is...
again, and I'm cross about it.
So if you charge, right, you get a free combat, a free fight action.
Yeah, you do,
right? Because his tactic gives him, it makes it simple. Simple is you can do multiples of. Basic, you can only do one of.
Yeah.
But you can then do something else. Double is like that takes up both your activations. Because it's a simple one, it means he can do it twice. So he can charge, hit stuff. If that person's dead, he can then go, I'm going to charge again and hit stuff. So terrifying, absolutely terrifying. So yeah, I
hope you're happy with yourself. That's all I can say.
I mean, it was great to watch. We laughed a lot, and I died a lot.
Well, that's what we're all about.
Nothing better, Jeff, than shooting a plasma cannon at the enemy and then the ball of energy coming somehow back to you and killing you and your mate.
Was it a very windy day?
It was a very windy day.
I think that was the only reason you lost that that first game.
Yeah.
But and yeah, we joked about it. I was like, I think to annihilate the corpse grinders, it's kind of like, okay, there's no cover and it's very thin. You're miles away from each other, and I'm like, right, okay, I guess I'll just have to run and try and hit you in the face, and you just be like pew pew.
Well, very soon. I have no idea how Delacs work. I've never used Delacs.
No,
so this will be
don't.
Interesting.
I don't really know how I'm gonna, because I essentially figured out from the games that we did, it was like stay in cover, take out the plasma gunner because he has a template weapon. And then you're kind of okay.
Yeah.
I don't think the Delac sort of beauty of them will come through in my game, because I've just gone for as many as I can and kept the equipment very low.
The scenario might make it a little bit tricky for both of you anyway, because it's an ambush scenario. So you're going to start off with some of them in the centre, and some of them maybe turn up in reserve. So we'll have to see. Okay. But it might work to your advantage.
Yeah, you never know. Right then.
Yes.
So,
as always, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe at the bottom. We have a Patreon, so join us on that.
And Patreon. The thing is worth noting as well, if you join us for Patreon, you get to see the videos early, but you also get to see them ad-free.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
Ad-free.
so, that's got to be at least
for £3
of anybody's money to not have to suffer adverts.
At least two videos a week. At least two videos. Sometimes
a week.
We do more.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So, and if you just stretch out a little bit further, you get into a really lovely Discord, which is just full of some really cool people.
I am a big fan of our Discord. Everyone is super awesome and nice and very chatty. I'm for my sins, I don't always get in there all the time trying to respond to every comment, but I do chuck in and like see what people are up to hobby wise.
Yeah.
And going, that's cool. I like that. Awesome.
I thoroughly enjoy spending time in the Discord. So
Go on then, where are we at, Pat?
So Paint Blitzer has worked a treat. You meant to clean it off with a stiff brush and under running water. I used a really old, quite soft toothbrush and just a cup of water, and it still worked pretty well.
Pretty good.
So if that was under running water and that would really come up with a treat.
This is very, very grey. The only red that's left is like in the recesses, and that's my fault, not the That's not amazing. The thingy's fault. The drop dripper. Let's have a gander.
Do you need someone to hold that mic for you?
No. Wait. I don't need a boom arm. It's fine.
Not at all. You got to know what they're talking about. They don't need one.
So this is we've got maybe 1/4 of an inch of paint come through.
Okay.
So I don't.
Do you not think you thinned it enough then? Maybe.
So yeah, I think because I was looking earlier at the rate it was coming through.
Yeah.
And it's quite slow. So I think you probably got to thin it a bit more.
Or just set them all up and go on holiday.
Yeah.
Yeah. Probably that. And I made the mistake of picking the paint pot like off the top, and I was like, and then it all just kind of spewed everywhere, which is why.
Isn't it funny when you want something to do a thing, it doesn't come out, except when you knock that pot over, it comes out like
an absolute one-up.
Yeah. So I think
seriously,
I think the issue is the funnel diameter.
Yeah.
I think you need some thin paint for it to properly do the business. So
that's two now.
Yeah.
We're falling to pieces here, folks. We're falling to pieces.
Yeah. So we'll slowly get more equipment.
I feel you keep buying new things, and then sometimes they work.
Well, this is it, because everyone's like, hey, because we were experiencing some audio issues. Sometimes it would work, sometimes it wouldn't. And I was like, right, I'm gonna get a new recorder. So this is like a field recorder. Ooh, and it's got 3 XLR inputs. Ooh, and then I can listen on these headphones, which I got them on, and do it all in real time. So hopefully it sounds better, and all that sort of stuff, because we want it to be really good. I want it to be really good. And enough and the audio was annoying me far more than
that it was annoying.
Far more than, because somebody comments on it and they're like, this is irritating, and I'm like, oh, I know. Because I want to put stuff out that's good. Hopefully this is decent. We changed the lighting around a little bit as well, so we'll see what happens.
All for you, folks.
Yeah. And people will still say it's crap, but it's fine.
Well, there's always someone going to say something. They makes you feel better inside. Makes them sleep at night.
I go say no. So actually, what I was going to say is, well, if you want us to have the best equipment and a new studio with more space, just follow us on Patreon. Give us some money, and then we'll be able to do it.
Yeah, we're just going to gaffer tape everything on.
Because it's I mean, this was like hundreds of pounds. These mics are like 300 quid each.
Wow. And they just drop one.
It's fine. I think they're more. I think they're like 340 quid, something like that.
Wow.
So they're very expensive.
So we're doing our best.
Yeah.
We're in a spare room in a flat, and we're trying.
I'm very trying. I've been told.
Yeah.
No, don't disagree. That's great.
No, I wanted to, but I just realised it's been said about me as well. So I can't defend you, I'm afraid.
Yeah,
I'm comfort eating now.
I'm terrible. Paint Blitzer, Under the Breach Hobbies, really good. Drop Dripper, maybe thin your paints more than I did. I wasn't really sure.
If you don't follow him, follow Kabuski, because he does some awesome stuff.
And Kabuski does stuff.
Please do. Yeah.
His conversion clinic, he does. He photoshops like kits from the website and makes like cool kit bashes out of them. digitally, and they look amazing. They give you such a good
Good luck with them new
inspiration.
Marines.
I'm sure he'll find a way of making them look cool. I'm sure he will.
Yeah, absolutely. Wonderful. So lots of people will try and put some links in the description.
Brilliant.
Or search for them on Instagram. Thank you very much for listening, everybody.
Pleasure
Yes.
as always to see you people.
And
Bye-bye.
farewell. Enjoy your day, week,
Right.
year.
Whatever it is.
Bye.
Let's
Bye.
do some murdering.
Let's murder stuff. Yeah.